Welcome back to my channel if you're not new. So today I'm excited to share with you my piercing experience. I know that when I was looking for videos about the nose piercing and the conch piercing, I was like, let's just get straight to the process because I want to see it. So I'm going to make sure that I roll that footage for you guys right here, right now, and then afterwards we will come back and talk about the piercing care process and my experience with them so far.
COVID test though, it's not as far up into your brain or any of that shit.
Right.
Just this area. No other color. No other part of it.
It's like I'm not processing that I'm doing this yet. I want to be nervous, but I'm not.
Okay. Mark it up, okay? Alright, let's take a look. Let's lean forward just a little bit. Stop hitting stuff. Okay.
God, I pray it doesn't hurt to do that.
Yeah, because I was thinking about doing that because I wanted to go to the done for my birthday.
Alright, deep breath. And out.
Not bad. Oh my gosh.
Give me 1 second, alright?
I know they should have done
I'll pull it through, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! I'm so excited.
Alright. Check.
No. That was not bad. It's so cute!
I got you. Come off a little bit.
That didn't hurt.
Good.
I think I have a high pain tolerance. I think Sorry, I don't want to scream, but oh my god! I wanted this since I was a little girl. I'm so excited.
Alright, deep breath. And out.
Boy. They're not bad. But it's one of my more painful ones.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah.
It hits different.
Because I just got a hole through my whole ear.
So now I'm just gonna slide the jewelry through it. Just gonna put that little ball on, okay?
Okay.
Feeling alright?
Yeah. Not that bad.
It's just big hands and little balls.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
work
what I
together.
hate.
It's like,
It's the ball putting them on.
no, it sounded a little dirty, but
Little balls. Yeah.
But it's the truth on it.
It is. That's why I switched my triggers to a loop.
Okay. So it might be a little pinch, okay?
Okay.
Just getting that ball tight on there. There we go.
What? I'm sorry, I need to leave. I didn't feel anything that time. Oh my goodness.
That's
Clean it off a
cute.
little bit.
I look like I'm like really pierced up.
Clean it out a little bit.
I think she will.
You're all set.
Gonna be in love. She gonna freak out when I get my piercing. She gonna.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like-
Check your mind.
That's cute.
Can I put this down?
Yeah. Just watch out for it.
It hitting it.
Yeah.
Weird.
See, and this is exactly what I wanted, because now I can turn my head still, and I still look like, oh, look, Mom, I don't have anything on my face. Or I can get it.
Nah. I look like a bad.
So hey y'all, welcome back. Okay, so we're gonna do this more vlog style just so it could be more casual. So this portion is gonna be more just kind of hanging out and talking about these piercings. You can leave in the comments down below what your experiences were, how you feel about it before and after. You know, we can just kind of chat, okay? So in my last vlog, I posted the full footage of the piercing process, but I also wanted to do a kind of separate dedicated video just so we can really delve into it. If you wanted to know more about it, and just also, I went to the same place I always go, which is Body Revolution. I always trust them. They always have the up-to-date piercing process. They use sharp needles. They don't use clips and things. And well, that depends on your piercer, but I love that I can always call them and ask them like, oh, how is this pierced? How much is this gonna cost? Da, 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 da. How much is the jewelry? They have the jewelry on site and everything for you. I just really appreciate this place because they're super professional and they know what they're doing. I've never had an issue with them. My sister used to get her tattoos with them and everything, so I just trust them. So for these two piercings, I just came in as a walk-in. I had called earlier, I think, like a few days before, just to ask if they were still doing it because COVID kind of messed things up about when people were doing certain piercings, like the nose. I think they weren't doing those around that time. So I called and asked, and they were like, oh yeah, we're doing them. I asked how much they were, da 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 da. I cannot remember the pricing right now, but I know at the time that I walked in and got both piercings at the same time and with the jewelry that I chose, it ended up being about $70. Now, do I have a receipt? No. Do I know why it was $70? Not really. I'm guessing one was 30, one was 40, or 25 and such, and then I paid for the jewelry that I picked. So I just picked like just plain diamond or clear. I believe these are surgical steel because I'm allergic to jewelry, so it would have to be like a surgical steel, or you can get gold, like real gold. So he helped me pick out my piercings. I believe this one is like a circle and then it points out. I don't know what that's called. I'm sorry, I don't know. I haven't done my research on that. And this one is a barbell, which I was not excited about, but we'll get into that. So the nose piercing is a 20 gauge, which is smaller than an earring. And then I believe the conch is a 16 gauge, so a little bit bigger than a regular earring. I thought that I would be getting more of like a stud on this piercing, but it is a barbell, and I don't know about y'all, but I get that they come in surgical steel and everything, and they're easy to use. You can get different sizes that are bigger or smaller, which is nice for a cartilage piercing, but I hate them for a cartilage piercing because I feel like they're more prone to moving around, like, and then that causes keloids, you know, if your skin's more prone to it, and I hate that. So I wish that this was more of a stud, and I can't wait to change it. I forgot when he said I can change the stuff. But I'll probably go back in like a year or so. I just don't want to touch it because these two actually take quite a bit to heal because this can move back and forth, and I hate that. And it's easy to do that too because it's on the back of your ear. So if you're tucking things behind your ear, if your hair is on it, you bump it very easily. But we'll get more into that when we get into the aftercare, okay? I chose this side of my face because I actually don't favor this side of my face, so I wanted to add some pretty to it because this is my favorite side of my face, and I also didn't want to touch the side of my face. So that is also why I chose this side, and you have to consider that. What side you're gonna do on these things. So I ended up getting my conch on this side so that it can still be seen in pictures and stuff. Okay, so as far as the piercing process, he started with my nose. So they clean you up and everything, and then they mark you, and then they have you check and see. So you saw that in the footage. And so I just went ahead with it with his first marking. I will say, small disclaimer, that I feel like it should be a little further up, but again, that's on me because they have you check like this. But then again, I don't know, because I like that you can still see the shape of my nose with this, and I've tested things to see if it's on the right spot. I don't know. I test about it every day, so don't even tell me down below if it should be moved, okay? But I like it nonetheless. Yeah, this is the best placement that I could do, and I'm happy with the placement of the conch. I know I wanted it to sit like right above this thing so the diamond sits there, and it's very cute when I do the rest of the ear. During the process, I'll say the nose, it's over so fast that you just don't even know. That was probably my least painful piercing that I ever got, was my nose. And you know, it triggers the eye to cry or to water, but that was it. Like, it was really the least painful. It was so fast. So if you've been dying to get it, just go ahead and get it. It doesn't hurt like that. The conch, definitely my worst piercing. Like, in the moment, once it's over, it's like, okay, it's not that bad because it's over now, but it also is sore after, and it aches, and it just hurt. Like, that one hurt. It wasn't too bad. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 7, maybe from a 5 to a, no, it's not a 5, like a 6 or a 7. And you know, it has to go through skin twice, and it has to go through the bone and or the cartilage, and that hurts. Like, I can't help you. Like, I have to tell you the truth, it hurts. Okay, so immediately after, I'm in the car, I'm looking at the placement and things like that. I could tell that my nose was swollen and it was red. It also began to bleed, but I also think I accidentally hit it or something in the car too, but it started bleeding again. It wasn't a lot, like, it didn't even drip. It just was around the piercing. There was blood and bleeding, okay? And then I think also maybe around the conch piercing there was bleeding as well. So yeah, immediately after, I couldn't even tell you about the nose piercing if that hurt, because the conch was ringing, okay? Not only was this one of my more painful piercings, the aftercare, I knew actually how it would feel because I had got my tragus. It kind of was like it's like a throbbing, but not necessarily throbbing. It's more of a consistent pain. It's just sore. You just really feel it because this is such a big gauge. Like, it's such a big hole taken out of your skin, and also because it's through that cartilage. So I don't know, it's just like an aching, that's the word. It just creates like an aching pain. So I couldn't really feel the nose. I couldn't even tell you how it was feeling at that time because the conch was really taking my attention, but it wasn't like unbearable. I just really felt it. And it also didn't swell, but it was kind of red. So yeah, I was able to just go on about the rest of my day. Night of, I remember thinking before I got them pierced, because I had did a little bit more research, I was like, ooh, I didn't consider that it's summer, that you might want to go swimming, and that doesn't help with your healing process. And 2, I didn't consider that I got a piercing on both sides. So when it comes to sleeping, and I'm a face sleeper, so I couldn't sleep on this side with my face, and I couldn't sleep on this side with my face. Or I tried to, I would go like this, or I was doing something weird when I sleep with my arm up and stuff like that. Like, I had to try to do little things like that to try to sleep because I just couldn't do it. Especially because that night and a few nights after, it's quite tender, both of them. This one will ache, but also after like getting hit, they're tender. You have to be careful of your nose because you can easily pull that out. I've heard so many horror stories of that, and then you lose the ring. And also, like, I felt like it was itchy after, so I would always forget that I had a nose ring. So I would go to scratch my nose or something, and I'd be like, oh dang, I hit the nose ring. then you gotta go clean it and all the other stuff, or push it back in because it hurts when it comes out. Oh, also when I got it, I was concerned about earbuds because I didn't think that through. But I was able to actually use my earbuds with this piercing, and I didn't realize I could do that until I think I looked something up. I was like, dang, when is my ear gonna be able to be slept on or something like that? And I think I looked something up and people were like, oh, I can still use my headphones. And even with my small ear, I could still use my headphones. So that was nice because I thought I was gonna have to be one headphone the whole time. And let me see, I think that's about it, honestly. I think about like week 2, I was able to sleep on the sides. Like it would be a little tender, but I was able to sleep. I think the first night it also bled onto the sheets. And I would say, you know, I'm about 2 months later and it's still, if it moves out too fast, it still hurts. But I tend to not pull it out. I don't feel it there. I can see it. I don't really see it now, but when I first got it, I was seeing it and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be my vision for the rest of my life. And I didn't even realize, but I really don't notice it now. Like I almost can't see it. And, but I didn't notice that before. The conch 2 months later, if you move this back and forth a lot or something like that, you're gonna feel it. While I'm cleaning, it doesn't hurt. It is a little tender if I move my ear around, but it's not really, it's just like, it's still healing. You can tell that they're both still healing. I'll say that about them. The swelling and stuff is of course gone, the redness. I do think that this was also bruised for a little bit, and I can see it still is kind of, not bruised, but I can just tell that area is darker and still healing. And this is fine. But they look fine. I've developed keloid on this, and then it goes away when I start being more serious about my cleaning regimen. So I don't worry about it too much, but you also just want to keep the movement down, try not to hit it, things like that. As far as the piercing care, you are instructed to clean them twice a day while they're healing. And I think on a good day, I did them twice a day, especially in the beginning, just because they're gonna be crusty and bleeding and doing all those things that a healing piercing does. So you're gonna want to clean it anyway so it looks cute, but also it just feels better after it's clean. So I would suggest doing that, and that's just the proper way to care for your piercing so that you don't keloid. You know, my nose piercing is on my face, so I really wanted to make sure I take care of that, as well as the conch, because like I said, that could easily keloid if you have that type of skin. Nowadays, I do about once a day. Sometimes I skip a day, but I also notice when I skip a day what they're doing, so it's not worth it. But I got all of the materials that I needed from the piercing shop. I believe these are in a set for about $10 at my piercer, so that also got factored into the cost of the piercing. Oops, let me be careful. So I use a cotton ball to do my cleaning, just because when I first got home, I had everything to do the cleaning, but cotton swabs or Q-tips, and that's what they use to clean you the initial time, and that would be easier to use, but that's just not what I had. So I used a cotton ball, and eventually along the process of doing it twice a day, I developed more efficient ways to do it, so I'm able to split my cotton ball while I'm doing it. So I start by washing my hands. You want to make sure that your hands are clean before you go touching these piercings at all, just because bacteria and all those other things, you don't want them to get infected. And luckily throughout this process, they've been healthy, not getting infected, even with my sleeping process. So I think what I'm doing is right. So yes, you want to start by washing your hands. You can use antibacterial wash or whatever hand wash that you use. Make sure that they're clean and that your instruments are clean, whether that be a clean cotton swab or a clean cotton ball. I start by separating a cotton ball into 2 pieces, and then I separate those 2 pieces into 2 pieces too. So then I have 4 pieces of cotton ball just for the 2 piercings. I use 1 for the outside of the piercing, 1 for the inside, and same for the conch. So I start with this dial antibacterial. This is what they give you at the piercing shop, but you can also buy this from your CVS, Walmart, things like that. And yeah, it's just an antibacterial soap. It's nice, it keeps the piercings clean, it also shines the jewelry, and yeah, so that's just what I use for that part of the process. I just wet the cotton ball, I put some of the soap on there, I put the cotton ball back under the water, just kind of lather it up a little bit, and then I just begin to clean around the piercing. I like to push the piercing out a little bit gently with a clean hand and get around the piercing part that is inside of the skin, you know, not just the parts that are on the outside, but you know, making sure that the soap is able to get inside of the piercing site. I do that on the outside and the inside. I try not to cross-contaminate with a cotton ball, but really it doesn't matter as long as you're getting it clean. Then I take that cotton ball, I put it back into the water, and then I wipe off the piercing so that the soap residue is not still on it. So while that's drying, I move on to my conch piercing and I do the same process. So I take the cotton ball, I wet it, I put some soap on it, I wet it again, and then I clean the front and I clean the back. I'm able to kind of flip my ear forward so that I can see the back of the piercing, but you don't really have to. You can kind of get back there if you want to. So yeah. So once I'm done with that, I allow for that part of the piercing to dry. By the time I'm done with that, I just need a little more time for my nose piercing to dry. And then I move on to the after piercing solution. This is something that they gave me at the piercing shop. I don't know what it is, but again, clean hands before you're touching your piercing site. And I just use the solution to clean the front and back of the piercing. And you also want to slide the piercing back and forth while you do it so that this is getting again into the piercing site. So again, I clean around the piercing and move things forward and back and make sure it's getting to the piercing site. Same thing on the conch. And once I'm done with that part, I usually take the sea salt, which is something that's very important. If you don't clean your piercing, you know, if you end up being lazy and not cleaning your piercing every day, at the least you should spray some sea salt on it. It's just very good for piercings. So some people, this is the only thing that they use besides soap once you get into the later parts of your healing process. But this is just some sea salt. Cleaning spray. You can also make this at home, I believe. It's just water, a clean water, and sea salt. Again, I just get this from my shop. It's the same brand they always use, but again, you can get this online and everything. And this is a cleansing and aftercare solution, basically. So I just use another cotton ball just so this is not getting in my mouth. Shake it up and make sure it's shaken well, and then I just spray it on the piercing site. And again, I do the same thing where I make sure that the solution is getting inside of the piercing site. So I move the piercing out of the way and push it back in, if you know what I mean. I allow that to dry, and the only thing is the sea salt kind of dulls the actual rhinestones. So sometimes I will take another piece of wet cotton ball and I will take a little bit of the dial soap and just go over the rhinestone, but not washing off all the work that I just did and the aftercare solution that's on the piercing site. So yeah, y'all, I think that's everything. At least that's everything that I can remember so far. So yeah, y'all, I think that's everything. I hope that all the information provided to you in this video was able to help you throughout your process, whether you were deciding to get the piercing or you've already done it. Happy healing with your piercing. Let me know that in the comments down below, what you've had done so far or what you're looking forward to getting. And yeah, I hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.